Hello, I'd like to formally introduce my game. It's called Bees2Nest. It's a work in progress game I made with Godot, the Godot game engine. It was inspired by the dying bees conversations. The main enemy you'll see is the varroa mite. Varroa mite is a pest that real honeybees have to deal with. They're one of the, at least when I was looking it up, they were one of the bigger threats to honeybees. Every level is harder than the last, so we're starting at level 1. Okay. Whoa. Okay, so you'll see your score over here. Okay, I realized editing the video, I realized you couldn't see the jar. The points indicator, so it's kind of hard to follow. So this is the jar, this is the score indicator. This is the honey, and it tweens the animation from empty to however many you need to get the points. Okay. Oh, that might have gone too fast. Okay. Oh, I love this perk. Extra honey. Oop. Next time I'll talk about the pickups or the power-ups. I only have 2 so far. You know what? I can probably talk about it now. Yes, there's a smoker. The smoker, I don't know if you can tell, but the beast moves slower. There you saw why why this smoker is a benefit. Yeah. You can stop a bee from leaving. There's also the post. If the bee hits a post, it turns around, goes back to the middle of the screen, stops the bee from escaping. It stops the bee from leaving the screen. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not very good at this game. I made it, but I need to work on some things. Kind of, probably need to change, the predictability where the bee turns. But right now, if I remember correctly, I'm rotating it based on the angle that I draw the line. But it's still hard to predict. You gain a score every time the honeybee enters the bee's nest with pollen. Let's see. So after every level, you get to pick one of 2 rewards. I have a whole bunch. At some point, I want to separate these. So each level has different perks that you unlock. These are randomized. Let's see. So the goal is to beat your highest level. Right now, I think I'm at level 6. Okay. Oop, I didn't choose anything. Okay, so yes. So if your bee enters the nest while infected, you will lose a life. If the bee enters the nest with pollen, you'll gain a point, but you'll still lose a life. So you have to be careful. So this is the first game I'm making with vector art. It was a really fun process. I used Affinity Designer to make everything you see here. Oh, except for the background. The background I used Procreate, the art app on the iPad. Okay, so you see the same. Wait, is this the same perk? I think so. Okay, so I'm gonna select. Oh, okay, it's the same perks because I didn't choose one last time. I'm gonna choose no mites just to make it easy for myself. Oh, yes. I really need to change the music. The way I initially made it, I wanted to change the music when the players' lives drop to a certain level. So, okay, I'm gonna try it again. Let me mute the music this time though. So why did I decide to make the game? Oops, what's happening here? I wanted to make the game because I thought it'd be a fun creative outlet. I wanted to make a game for such a long time. I thought Godot was one of the easier game engines to learn. It was more accessible, I guess. And I'm a big fan of free and open source software. There's still a lot of bugs. I know I don't I keep saying it because I think it's funny. It's really because bugs, bees, or bees, bugs. I'm not even sure. Yeah. So this is another perk. Extra honey. For every bee that spawns carries extra honey. This is one of the perks that I really like because I don't have to worry about leading the bees to a flower first. I don't know if I already said this, but if you enter a bee's nest without pollen, you also lose a life. Extra heart is also helpful. You gain a life for the next level. You gain an extra heart, no matter what. But if you haven't lost a life yet, you get an extra one. So if you start with 5, you'll have 6. Okay, you know math. As for the target audience, I thought casual arcade, maybe. I don't know. Not really sure. Like, I'm not planning on releasing it on Steam. I wanted to release it on, so far, right now, my plan is to release it on, I don't know, Android, just the Play Store, if I can figure out the app thing. I used to have a developer account, but it was shut down, and I think they made it a bit harder to upload apps or like to get your apps approved on the Play Store. Well, yes, so I was thinking of a casual audience. It's something to do while you're waiting for something. I also wanted to mention the music. I'm using the Ovani plugin. Ovani is a company that makes all sorts of music and plugins for different game engines. You know, they have a Godot plugin. They also have plugins for Unity and Unreal. You know, those big ones. Okay. Oh, okay. On my notes, it says I'm going to show you my designs from Infinity Designer and like the edited designs on Infinity Photo, because obviously the bees are the same sprites, except with like a couple of effects on them. This is the honeybee sprite. I have one where it looks like where its legs are folded over to indicate that it's landed. I have, and then for these variations, I have one where it's infected. I have one where the honeybee is carrying pollen, obviously, to indicate that it's landed on a flower. And if it goes in the bee's nest, you gain a point. Talking is hard. So here I have the varroa destructor drawings. The first one is showing like a regular varroa mite. The second drawing is showing one where it looks kind of dead, and I indicated that by making it a bit lighter. I don't know what a real dead varroa mite looks like, but I thought this would be a good indicator. Also straighten the legs. Okay, and the bottom is the no mites perk. Okay, so this is my current jar design. In the game, you'll see the score indicator above the bee, above the bee head. The old design had white areas around its eyes, kind of look like anime or the cartoon eyes, but I don't know. I decided to go with this simpler design instead. You know, fewer shapes. The one next to it is the full jar sprite. You know, in the game, I animate the honey going up using a tween. At some point, maybe I'll show the things I used in the engine. Okay, I think that now that's it. That's all. That's it for today. Thank you.